What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. It's the 13th of December. Can you believe that already? Like time is flying. Christmas is here. We were just saying, uh, happy Thanksgiving. Now it's Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. It is upon us right now, and it's taking over everything. This is Real Talk Chronicles. We're just talking Real Talk Chronicles, and I'm your host, Bill Foster. This is Real Talk with Dr. Marilyn Corder, my cousin, my first cousin. So this is always a beautiful thing. And also, too, to let you know, this segment tonight is sponsored by Soft Illusions Art Gallery. And this is my wife's, Malika's, and her mother's art gallery. So they have beautiful designs. If you want to give people little secret Santas, I don't know if it's too late, but these calendars are some of just the products that we have, and we'll put that in the chat and everything. First and foremost, uh, this is Real Talk with Dr. Marilyn Corder. Doc, how are you doing today?
Wow. I'm first of all, thank you. I'm fine. I'm just right now sitting back saying we are almost the end of 2021, 2 weeks left. This is my last real talk for the year. Looks like, I mean, I'll call yes, and it's like, but I'm like really
13th of December. Can you? Yeah.
I but there's so much that happened. 800 died from COVID, and over 100,000 are positive for COVID and sick. We're coming off of Thanksgiving. Hopefully, you all had a beautiful Thanksgiving. Hopefully, you followed the mandate and didn't get close quarters and didn't catch COVID. But every day, I'm 5 calls, probably I guess about 8 or 9 calls right now on children, families that the parents are saying their son or daughter is positive for COVID. Again, we're going to that. We have the Omicron here, and there's a couple of things going on that we're seeing high numbers as we are seeing the result of Thanksgiving. So hopefully everyone had a blessed Thanksgiving. However, hopefully that you're not, as a result of Thanksgiving, you're not suffering or getting a positive COVID test.
Yes, what's so funny with that being said, I know there's so many different things we're going to talk about tonight within our span. But the one thing that you see cities are coming down with mandates right now. In the Philadelphia area, what is it that by January 3rd, you have to be vaccinated to even go into an establishment. I think also I think they're doing something like that in New York too, where it's no more, testing negative before you enter establishment. They're mandating that everybody has to be, especially if you're dealing with food, you have to be vaccinated. And so funny, we have Malika and I have, I think maybe it's like 4 friends right now, personally, that we know that have COVID. 2 didn't take the vaccine. 1 is in the hospital. Sending prayers to him because we called him and he sounded like he was, and I don't say this to be facetious, but it sounded like he was almost on his deathbed because he couldn't breathe and had the tubes in his throat. And he was one person that really was against the vaccine. Another friend of ours, she was waiting for to see what the vaccine was going to do, but as we can see right now, that wasn't a good move on her part. We have another friend of ours that took the vaccine and he had the booster and he ended up catching COVID, but he will tell you that it's the effects are minuscule to compare to what he feel would have happened to him if he didn't take the vaccine. So to those out there in the world, we're not here telling you, we're not sitting here, I'm not advocating telling you what you have to do, but I'm telling you it makes a lot of sense to do that. I just want to shout out all the people that's chiming in: Vera, Stefania, Lisa Ray, Angel Ray, my man, Asandu, what's going on? Tommy Zane, Gerald Evans, Gerard Evans, Tremel Thompson. Tremel, I'm gonna have to get you on the show coming up in the new year too. I just want to find out what's going on in transit and stuff like that. So maybe if you could pop in on a Wednesday or let me know your schedule, I would love to have you back and we can chop it up and stuff like that. Everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster, with my co-host, Dr. Marilyn Corder. And this is Real Talk with the Doctor. If you have questions about anything, please write them in the chat. If you watch it from YouTube, subscribe to it. If you watch it from Facebook Live, just if you have questions, please ask the doctor. This is probably one of the rare times in your life that you can really have a real sit down conversation with a doctor and get the real skinny of it. What's up, TJ? Shout out to all the people celebrating birthdays. I know this sad season, it's almost over. Then it's Capricorns. Watch out, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So everybody, I hope everybody's having a great day. The first Monday of the month, we have Al Taylor. We had a great show with Al Taylor. He was up in Albany with a bunch of legislators changing bills. We have, of course, in New York, we have a mayoral-elect, Eric Adams. Shout out to him. And he's making a lot of changes for the good. Crime has been off the chain. Larceny at its finest. Probably Wednesday, I'll talk with Kevin and Chuck to find out what do we need to do as a country to stop the crime. Pop-up robberies, crimes. A man at his wedding went to the store and got robbed on your wedding day. Like, how crazy is that? We have a trial right now of the lady the female cop that mistaken her gun for the taser and shot the young man and killed him. She's on trial now. So there's so many different things that's happening in New York City. I mean, in the world today. And listen, this is the place where if you want to talk about it, we'll talk about it. With that being said, what's up, Joe? How are you, everybody? Appreciate all the people chiming in and saying what's up. No, I can't see you, Doc. The doc is going to come back. We're going to have to get her back. We lost her for a second. So like I said, the doctor's website, she's going to talk about CBD, right, Malika? She said she's going to talk about that.
Yeah,
so this is her site. We're waiting for her to chime back in. Malika type this in. The doc is coming back right now. So here she comes again. You got it. You got you, Doc. Malika, you put this in the chat.
Okay.
So
I may be a physician, but I'll tell you what, when it comes to technical talents, I don't have that. They didn't teach us that in med school. So bear with me.
But listen, we can all be a 9 out of 10. you know what I'm saying? We can all be a 9 out of 10. Listen, I always tell people, if God gave me singing talents, he didn't want the world to see that. So anyway, we already had our uncles. They were good with that. Like I said, I'm gonna shout out to everybody that's chiming in. So Doc, first and foremost, you talked about Omicron. How do you pronounce Omicron. it? Omicron. Anything updated on that you want to give us before we go into anything else you want to talk about?
I do. I was just on BNC. What day is this? Monday on Friday, Black News Channel, and Omicron is writing this book as it is attacking us. So if folks are saying, okay, it came from South Africa, I don't think it was really originated there. I think that they had more numbers and identified it there because unfortunately they were not able to get vaccinations as much or to the degree that other places were vaccinated. But we see now in 28 states and 4 cases here in DC, no relation to South Africa. They ain't been to South Africa, but the cases have increased. Now let's talk about what that means. So we still with Corona Delta, COVID, the Corona Delta variant, which we know is 8 times more virulent, powerful, infectious, aggressive than the variant before that, which was 3 times more effective than the main coronavirus as we knew about it 18 months ago. So we're talking increase, exponential infectivity. So people are still dying from Delta. Now, with that, there's this new one, and I call it the smaller. I'll just say this. They're saying that it's more infectious, meaning that if you're in a room with someone, it spreads more. If you have Omicron, you don't even have to be singing and shouting at a game. You could be in a room and it's more contagious. However, it's not increasing the hospital rate like Delta did, but it's more contagious. And that's why the United States, instead of saying if you're coming from another place, instead of the typical was you need to be tested 3 days negative prior to traveling. So 3 days, let's say you're traveling on Saturday, by Wednesday, they test you so you have your results of a negative before you get on the plane.
Mm-hmm.
Omicron is so infectious that they're saying you have to have a negative test within 24 hours of being in that seat on the plane. So you understand what I'm saying. Okay. So with that, a lot of folks were turned away. TSA, they just couldn't get on because they were positive for COVID prior to, within that 24 hours. They could have been negative on that midweek, but by Saturday, they were already positive. So that was one way of shutting down. Now, we don't know all of the effects of Omicron, this new one. We do know what Delta does. Delta will take you out. If you're not vaccinated, as we know, 90% of those that were on vents, on respirators, severe illness from coronavirus when they had Delta, those are the ones that weren't vaccinated. So as you said, you can still be, of course, breakthrough, even if you're vaccinated. And that's where a lot of people say, well, what's the point? Well, the point is giving you that immune system. The point is giving you the fight back. And that fight back can save your life. And it's a bummer. I understand. I'm in that category with the boosters and, had to get the shot frontline. Who wants that? I mean, come on. Honestly, doctors don't really want to be taking vaccines. All right. I give vaccines. I'm a pediatrician, but I wasn't trying to get vaccines in my late years, but I do want to add to my years.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I had to put my arm up, etc. So that's where we're coming up on Christmas. We're already seeing 4 times the rate of hospitalization and cases from Thanksgiving. So let's learn from Thanksgiving. I know Christmas is special. Last Christmas was a blackout, shut down. This Christmas should be careful, Zoom it, Secret Santa, do the gift opening on Zoom, go outside. Hopefully it's not too cold, and just be careful because you want to see 2022, not in a hospital room or on dialysis or an event, in your best way. A little later, I'm going to talk about CBD. There are things that you and myself and lots of folks need to know about health, about supplements, about things that naturally help you get strong, stay strong, get your immune system, the defense up. We rely on prescriptions, too many prescriptions. And we need to understand that way before we had all those commercials of all these prescriptions, we were still here. Right. Mankind was still here.
Right.
We had better foods, but we ate from, I call it, we healed our bodies naturally. People would talk about the mom went in the backyard and got a leaf out, made some tea, made some this, put some stuff together, that now we market it off as turmeric and elderberries, etc. Cod liver oil. We know what helps us. We know, and absolutely. we didn't have a whole lot of fake foods and digestive problems, etc. Now we have abused our bodies for the last couple of decades and generations, at least the last 2 generations, with antibiotics for a whole lot of mess. As soon as you burp, you get something. As soon as you this, you get something. By the time, you finish, you might have 5 or 6 different medications, but you're treating the side effects. And you need to pull back. Now, of course, with your doctor's permission, I don't want you diabetic and then have a stroke or a heart attack, because Dr. Corder said pull back, but begin to see what you can do to help your body as you change your lifestyle, as you change, as you drink your water, as you pull away from the sugary things, as you begin to not eat as much red meat. And those things matter. Those things matter. And the fake stuff that, even when people want to lose weight, they get, I'm going to go with it, vitamin B shot, they get things that they really could do better with them doing a less proportion, less, drinking water, walking, and doing some natural things. So I'm going to talk about CBD in a few minutes, and I'm going to talk about it from head to toe. It's some things about CBD that really the doctors are just learning. However, the pharmaceutical companies are very upset. Very upset. And they've pushed back. CBD, by the way, is hemp. It's not marijuana. There is medical marijuana benefits in general. That's on the other conversation. But we're talking CBD, which is cannabidiol, and it's not psychotropic, so you're not going to get high. This is not Billy's cousin Marilyn talking, go get high. This is
Right,
Billy's
right.
cousin Marilyn talking, stay healthy and balance your health.
Doc, can you tell people the difference between, like you said, we're not talking about getting high, but we're talking about this other CBD,
Right.
because I think people think CBD and the first thing they think, oh, I could smoke marijuana legally.
No. So there's something called medical marijuana that over the last 3 years, most states have honored that, especially here on the East Coast. And medical marijuana has its benefits. Okay. I'm not going to say it doesn't. Unfortunately, the downfall is that you get a little loopy, you get a little high. Medical marijuana is still much better than narcotics. Let me say this: opioid addiction has killed more people, and that's from doctors writing prescriptions. Medical marijuana is the answer we thought 2 or 3 years ago to that. But we also know that it does make you a little high. It does make you a little, and you don't need all of that for the benefits. So in medical marijuana, there's something called CBD in it, 20%. But then there's CBD by itself, 100%. And that's where we're talking. It's everything and then some that medical marijuana, except it's more powerful, anti-inflammatory, it's more beneficial, and it's not medical. It's not THC. And you don't need a card to get it. You'll find it everywhere, from the health food stores to the grocery stores to beauty places. But all CBD is not equal. And I want you to know that because of that, I did my research, and my company that I'll be putting the information in terms of how to reach me, and I'll give you my email as well. But our company I call it clinical grade. It's not medicine, so your insurance doesn't pay for it. Let me start that too. But you know what? Your insurance don't pay for a lot of things, including tennis shoes and hairdos, but you still get it. So you can budget, and it might be a good $100 a month, but it will reverse and make you feel so much better and begin to take away the itises. I call them itises that are inflame and cause an inflammation of your body. I've had folks who've had seizures, ADHD, autism, migraines, menstrual cramps, reproductive problems, diabetes, gout. I can go on. There are like 80 different conditions that CBD is now found to improve. Now, I can't say cure. That's something we don't say. But I tell you what, none of those medicines that doctors are writing cure it, but it has those tons of side effects. We're talking, it gets to the actual cause of wherever it's ailing you, especially with gut problems. A lot of people have reflux, acid reflux. They have inflammatory bowel, what we call the IBS, Crohn's disease, digestive problem. CBD drops will begin to settle that and reverse that. And your digestion begins to get more effective, and all the way from your salivary glands in your mouth all the way down to your colon. CBD comes in so many forms, from coffee to tea to gummies. We have a CBD gummy that has a little melatonin. Now, you have to be careful with sleep aids. There are lots of sleep aids that are over the counter that are addicting, not to mention the prescription sleep aids. I did not realize how many people can't fall asleep, or once they're asleep, in about 2 or 3 hours and they wake up, they can't go back to sleep. And I'm like, what?
Let me tell you something, Doc. I tell Malik all the time, I got to sleep with the TV on. I said, my demons start coming at me. I be sitting in there thinking about all kind of times and this and that. I'd be like, Lord. So I get it. And, maybe that's something you can enlighten us. First, let me just ask a question. I got a question. Tom said, excellent information that you're giving. He said, is this good for arthritis?
Oh, yes. Now, I'm going to plug my phone up because I see it's doing a little beep. I'm going to walk. It is so excellent for arthritis. So get Tom's information, because I will send him a sample. Hold on, I'm going to get my plug-in.
So, Tom, tell you and your wife to text me and give me your information, and I'll hook you up. See what happens when you listen to Dr. Marilyn Corder, baby? This is real talk. This is the kind of things that we do to help everybody become better people. Everybody, this is Real Talk with Dr. Marilyn Corder.
I'm trying to find my cord.
Yeah, exactly. And we don't, please let her find our cord, because we do not want her to blink out on us. not giving us all this great information. As you can see, she is at her office. So, she's taking her time out once a month to help her cuz give you information. If you don't know, if you haven't heard, this is my first cousin. So I appreciate her. She's world renowned and she takes the time out to give information. I appreciate you all for chiming in. Please, if you watch it from YouTube, subscribe to it. If you're not on watching it from YouTube, please, after this, go to YouTube, share it, let somebody know what I'm giving. Like I said, those that know, I've given parties and I didn't have to do it this much advertising in my life. But with this is the positivity is one of the hardest things to give to sell. So with that being said, Doc, you good? You got your cord together? If not, I still can go back to the public service announcement also too.
No, I can still talk. I'm just trying to make sure that I don't drop. So arthritis. So for Tom, arthritis is something that many of us suffer. You don't have to be elderly to have arthritis, and that's the itis that we talked about, which is inflammation. We have a cream, we have a spray, we have a rub. All of that will beat all the other things that you're taking either by mouth or by topical. We have a spray that's called PDQ, and it's short for pretty darn quick.
Oh, well,
and you spray it. As a matter of fact, I sent a bottle to cuz Selma and her friend. He said that thing is the bomb. He was on so many other medications, just in general that people give you by mouth that was tearing up his stomach. And then he's like, I started this. He said, this is the bomb.
Well, I will be an example because you will send me something because all the operations I've had, I definitely
Absolutely. So of course I know your address, but get Tom because we have the little samples. Because I'm gonna say this, knowledge is power, and things that you use need to be as natural and as less side effects. And there's no side effects except feeling better when we're talking about CBD. When I'm saying this is something that even with seizures and headaches and just your whole mood. Some people say, well, how can CBD do all that? Because unknown to us up until probably 4 years ago, us in the medical field, we didn't realize that we have CBD receptors all over our body, from our head to our toe. And if you think of a Christmas tree, and you know how when this is the time of year, you line up your lights that you had in the basement or wherever, the brand new ones that you got right at the end of Christmas for the half price, those still lit up when you plugged up. But there's some of those strands of lights that didn't light up or was weak, or half of them were blinking, etc. Think of those lights as our receptors we call CBD receptors. So we can't, like that stream of lights that you line up to see what works, so you can throw those away. But we can't throw our receptors of our bodies away. But what we can do is enlighten it, and we can tune it up, fine tune it, and that's what CBD does. That's why when people take it for something else, like let's just say they're taking it because they're stressed, and they take a dropper for once a day, but they find out, wow, my skin looks clearer. They find out their hair is growing. They also find out that their gut is not making all kind of noises that it used to make. They find out that they're in a better mood. I had a family that the mother was saying, Doc, you have anything for stress? Because this is stressful. These are stressful times. I said, then let me just give you a CBD bottle. It's a drop. We call it CBD oil, CBD tincture. But it's a drop before you put it under your tongue once a day. Within a week, her other child was coming back because we saw 2 of her children, and the other child was coming back the next visit. So everybody came to the visit. The little fella came to me and hugged me. He said, whatever you gave my mama, she's much nicer.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Wow, yeah.
So we help the family.
Because we know mamas can get on some nerves. They can ride some tails.
So he was like, he hugged me. He's like, she's really nice. And we didn't make her drunk, and she wasn't getting high on marijuana. So
Doc, let me ask you a question. I heard all of the things and that you just ran down, and there's so many that I can't recall all. But does it cleanse? I know you said something about food, and you said is it something cleansing? Because I know a lot of us dealing with the colons and things of that magnitude.
So we have a tea, and it's called Go Baby, and it does make you go, and it has CBD in it, and it has other things in it. And I tell folks this is the best thing. The GI doctors love it. So some people beginning of the year they could do a cleanse. You don't need a whole lot. It's just the tea leaves and you do it. And actually, probably once or twice in the first week is all you really need. And it's
Okay.
not a violent one, but it really helps cleanse and clear your system. All right. And that's, so we have, it's called Go Baby. So a couple of things I'm gonna throw out. So we have a tea. We also
Yes.
have a coffee. Coffee
Okay.
is a regular, we have regular tea, CBD tea, which is your green tea, your passion fruit tea. But we also have the Go Baby tea for a cleanse. But we have different coffees: hazelnut, Colombian, French vanilla. So we have different coffees. And this coffee has MCT oil, which helps your gut repair itself. So with all the medicines we throw down our gut, from Motrin, Advil, all of that stuff aggravates our gut. And that's why some people see bloody stools, etc. The CBD coffee really mal and begins to decrease on the inflammation. And that's why with Crohn's and colitis and diverticulitis, a lot of those GI tract illnesses begin to simmer down and reverse when you're taking CBD. Now, the
Wow.
medical marijuana, I was talking to a little fella who went to a herbologist, and the herbologist told him medical marijuana helps because he has ADHD and he has Crohn's. The
Mhm.
problem with the medical marijuana, he was smoking and vaping. Okay, it did help some, better than the prescription medicine, but when you vaping and when you're smoking, it aggravates your gut, not let alone your lungs. So I told him we're going to do the drops. His mother ordered it today. It's supposed to come in this week, and they're excited. I went through everything. One thing about our business, as opposed to going to the the mall or Wegmans or whatever, just picking up a bottle, not really knowing what you're doing. I mean,
Yeah.
it's still CBD, but we come with information. I do want to give out my email because anybody who's listening, as you know, because I like to educate. I
Absolutely.
educate folks from newborn to 99 years old.
Absolutely.
Melzetta was 108, our auntie. Okay.
Yes, yeah.
And
Auntie,
I,
yeah.
and it's like, that's what I do. I went to Howard Medical School and they told us no matter what, listen and make sure you inform and educate and see
Mm.
each person, respectfully, treat each person respectfully. And so my email is dr dot, as in doctor. So it's dr dot number 4. So the figure 4, dr period 4 teens, teens at yahoo.com. Now, don't feel bad. It says teens, teens, but CBD would make you feel like a teenager.
All right now. We all need that. We all need that. Well, everybody listen, everybody wants to feel younger. I don't,
Absolutely.
and that's the key. Just like you said about like cleansing, Malika and I, we talked about that. Some people do it just for just health reasons. Some people do resolutions. Malika and I were just talking about that's what we were going to be doing too.
Uh-huh.
We cleanse ourselves. So it just seems like CBD covers a wide spectrum of everything. Is it on the borderline of holistic or
Oh,
or
it's natural. It's hemp. It's hemp.
okay?
Okay, so it's the hemp plant. And way back in the 1920s and 30s, first of all, CBD is in the Bible. This is nothing new. This is centuries old. And well, marijuana is in the Bible too, but CBD is in the Bible. And it's just that when Big Pharma came through, they know and realized that if people knew how beneficial CBD would be, cannabidiol, they would not need all these other prescription medications. And unfortunately, they won because it's politicking and lobbying, etc. So finally, after so many people died from opioid addiction, their doctors were writing prescriptions for. Too many people died, and they said, "Okay, enough is enough." I don't know if I mentioned on this show before, but I'm gonna tell you how serious it is. So CBD, wherever CBD is, you begin to see less opioid deaths and opioid addiction.
Mm,
We have to renew our license in the district every 2 years, us doctors. And I've
mhm.
had my doctor's license here for like 40 years. But every 2 years, you have to renew. You have to take so many credits. I take twice as many credits because I'm on faculty for 3 med schools. But
Mhm.
one of the things that the District of Columbia, Washington, D.C., our nation's capital, mandated each doctor before they renewed their license, they had to take a 2-credit course on CBD. Let me repeat. This is the first time ever each physician who was getting their license renewed here in Washington, D.C., was a mandate to take a 2-credit course. Why? Because number one, we have to tell them you cannot continue to write for the opioids, for the Percocets, etc. Number two, it's more beneficial. And it's going to be to the point you have to begin to practice not so much big pharma. And doesn't have to be medical marijuana, CBD, because when your patients come and ask you, look, doc, I have this, I have that, you better know what you're talking about. Otherwise, you're going to lose that patient. Because a lot of doctors will say, well, I don't know about that. I don't think you should take that. Where the person's been taking it and proven. So the next thing you know, that person is going to be asking for their medical records to go somewhere where the doctor has a broader sense of knowledge and understanding that it's okay. You know, vitamin C years ago, that's all we talked about. But there are other things other than vitamin C and turmeric and vitamin E, et cetera. It's CBD.
Everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. This is Real Talk with Dr. Marilyn Corder. And you're getting it real. So if you have questions, I know the beautiful thing I love about so many people. Oh, my man Lucky he says, I need some of that Go Baby tea. We got you, Lucky. So, you know, it's so funny. I think a lot of times people get so enamored about what you're saying in awe, and they don't ask the questions. But, you know, because it's almost like listening to a great lecture that you want to be a part of. You know what I'm saying? And because Malika and I, after the shows, will be like, yo, wow. And so many people will always come, and just like I've seen tonight, people have said, yo, great information. Priscilla has said that. Leslie has said that. People are just so happy to chime in and just listen. And I appreciate you. I thank you for that. What are the things now, you know, the holidays, people like to eat, a lot of liquor. Are there things, okay, wait, we have a question. Stefania said, Dr. Corder, what can I take for menstrual cramps? I usually have ginger or peppermint tea. Do you have any suggestions?
Yes. So let me give, first of all, you need the CBD drops. And I will, and Bill, you and Malika got to write fast. Give me those people, and I know you can keep the chat up. I want their information or vice versa. Send them my email. And when you guys email me, make sure you say you heard it on Real Talk, so I can give you a discount, give you some samples. What, you know, I have a radio show every Saturday, Radio 1, and I did two shows on CBD. I have more folks that I gave some things away, and then I gave them the website. They're still thanking me. You know, we're talking all ages. Endometriosis, menstrual cramps, to the point we had this one young lady who had problems reproductively, and she was teasing me because also we have the oil, we have the massage oil, we have body butter, we have things even for eczema, etc. So this young lady's daughter had irritated skin, so I left a little bottle in my mailbox. We're neighbors. I also see her child. So she was laughing. She said, "What? I bet you. Do you have anything for reproductive? Because my husband and I are still trying to get pregnant again." And her OBGYN told her, you know, that they wouldn't be able to have any more children. So, you know, jokingly, I'm like, yeah, we got something for that. That's because what that is inflammation of your tubes. So I gave her the site to go on to buy the CBD drops, 1,000 milligram, 1 dropper full a day. And when she went to do that, she said, after 2 months, she got pregnant. No, I don't. She went to go to the doctor, and she had a positive pregnancy test.
Wow.
And her doctor, her OBGYN said, my God, I've never seen this. So the baby's born, the baby's 3 months old. So my ongoing joke is I got somebody pregnant.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. You out here working magic. You take care of the babies and then you get them pregnant too. Now, listen, I'm going to ask a question because I'm sure men will want to know this, especially when they get up in age. The libido. Sometimes everybody act like they Johnny Strong.
It helps. It helps because let me tell you what CBD does. It also helps the circulation, and everything needs blood flow, including your man part. So it helps, and it also helps the inflammation. It's anti-cancer. I don't know if I shared this with you because my mom, of course, you know, your aunt had lung cancer, and mommy, they told her she wouldn't live past 6 months, even with the chemo and radiation. I was giving her CBD drops every night under her tongue. Her oncologist did not believe. Mommy lived 5 years. She was 85 years old diagnosed. She didn't transition until she was 90, but she never had the morphine. She never had that, you know, the end of life stuff, you know, and she graduated out of hospice about 4 times. And she was very comfortable. She knew her mental acuity was there. She knew all her bank card numbers, everything. She knew all the deacons' names, their birthdays, because I have to buy the birthday cards every month because I was giving her CBD.
Right.
And she slept well, etc. So with that, her tumor shrank down to the point where it became what we call a ghost tumor. She had a huge mass in her lung. So it's anti-cancer. It will begin to correct what needs to be corrected when it comes to reproductive organs, when it comes to libido. It gives you peace of mind. You're in good mood. You know, you feel comfortable, relaxed. And therefore, you know, like I said, we got couples now who are like, wow, thanks to the CBD.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it helps, but it definitely begins to reverse and help even through chemotherapy. When people are having chemotherapy, it begins to help your body adjust to that and not allow the bad part of chemotherapy to overwhelm your body.
Wow. So fellas, you can thank me privately because I know you won't come out and say you got any issues. So you can thank me privately.
So share my email. Just what you want to do, I guess, when you have a chat, put my email there, dr.4teens, TEENS @Yahoo.
All right. Malika's going to put that in there. And definitely you have to say, you know, you heard it on
Real
Talk Chronicles.
Right.
Exactly. Don't be trying to come talk about, oh, I'm the friend of the friend that knows a friend, because that ain't going to get you nowhere. Remember, you're my cousin, so we don't play that.
Now, if you have back pain, shoulder pain, knee pain, ankle pain, couple sprays of the PDQ, the cream, I'll send you some samples and you'll be surprised. I have a friend who's orthopedic surgeon.
Right.
He's married to my best friend, Donna, and who's my daughter's godmother and vice versa. But anyway, her daughters. So Donna, her husband's an orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Bruce. He stopped writing for opioids as soon as he started seeing what PDQ and the cream. He said, them folks come in, he has little samples. He sell it for reasonable price, pretty much his wholesale. And he said, I'm no longer making drug addicted seniors. Okay. And they're coming in, they got the spray, they get the cream, and they're excited, they're pain free, and they're happy. And he gets the drops. Some of them want the drops because everything from their they may be feeling bad. Did I have y'all back? Okay. I'm answering calls as I want.
As you're doing it. Let me tell you something. She's the queen of multitasking, everybody. She's the queen of multitasking.
Oh gosh.
Leslie said, what about spinal stenosis?
Yeah, it's interesting. So spinal stenosis, that's inflammation, but that's also anatomically a malalignment, because the stenosis is when you have that vertebrae on that vertebrae. So what tends to happen with that, you get multiple shots of steroids, which temporarily relieves it, but unfortunately, as you're getting those steroids, it begins to eat away at your bone. That's why lots of folks have what we call osteomyelitis, etc., in joints where they will have the steroids. Now, back surgery, I'm not going to disrespect those doctors who do back surgery, but as much as you can avoid, push back surgery, please, because often you hear people having it 2 or 3 times trying to get it right. So sometimes they give you the pain patch, but if you want to get some relief, we have a 3 Extreme cream. Write that down, 3 Extreme CBD cream. You would want me to send you some samples so that and or the spray. Now my husband uses it's a pain rub, a CBD pain rub, and he puts it right on. He has back pain. He puts it right on that spot. I also had back pain. I was in a tragic car accident. Yes. I fractured my back. The guy that hit us, he died. That's why I said tragic and fatal, but I was spared. But, I did have some discomfort. My back feels fine now. In the middle of the night, if I wake up with a cramp, sometimes we get leg cramp. They call it restless leg. I just call it hurt. And when you get pain in your leg at night, I have on my nightstand, a spray, CBD spray, and a little cream. I never have to get up anymore, which I would have to do and walk around. No more.
Really?
I right there, spray, I count 30 seconds. I'm back to sleep.
And what's so funny that you said that? I mean, I have no problems promoting anything, but just as I like people to promote me. But I heard that in the movie Restless Leg Syndrome, and I thought it was a joke, but it's real.
Yes.
Because I have to get up sometimes in the night, and I got to walk, and Malika be like, "You all right?"
Right.
And I healing over and stuff like.
Right. Yes. and then finally it may go away, etc. But yes, and some people would do the spray before they go to bed, like, hey, I'm ahead of you, Mr. Pain,
Right.
So yeah. Mm-hmm. So I know what I'm getting you on for Christmas. It's gonna be a basket, a gift that keep on giving. Here, use this for this, use this for that.
Off, and don't push it, because if it don't come fast enough, we'll come down and get it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. This is Real Talk with Dr. Marilyn Corder. I hope you're really enjoying the information. I appreciate you all. And the one thing I will ask you, your gift to me for the holidays, if you like the show, just share it to your page so everybody can see it, so we can get more views and more and people to watch it. The bottom line is, it's free information and it's real talk. So that's my gift. That would be your gift to me, just sharing this information. Leslie said, no surgery for me. I'm too afraid. Thanks for the information. Well, Leslie, I understand. I've been on enough operating tables, as the doctor knows. I've got reprimanded by her for not telling her when I had extensive spine surgery and I was almost paralyzed. And I'll never do that again. I call her down for anything. This toe I think I broke, I'll have to talk to her offline about it. So, it's so many different things that we have to take care. Let me ask you a question. With CBD, Doc, are there any side effects? Because I know everybody now is super woke and they talk about side effects, especially since COVID and the vaccine. People are talking about, the man did this and that and stuff of that magnitude. Are there any side effects? Because it seems like there's a lot of interest in CBD right now. Mm-hmm. We can't hear you, Doc. Oh, you were muted. I don't know where'd you go. We'll get you back. Let's see. Still can't hear you yet. Let's see. Unmute yourself. Let's see. Can't. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Just hold that thought. Maybe should you come out and come back in? Want to try that? Because you can't. I'm gonna remove you and then come right back in. Everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster, with Dr. Marilyn Corder. This is Real Talk with Dr. Marilyn Corder. Can we hear you now? Can't hear you. What happened to you? Can't hear you. Let's see. She's gonna try. I don't know. Well, we'll see what she's gonna say. She's gonna try to come back in. Everybody, we want the doc, don't we? Yes. She gives all the great information. Also, like I said, until the doc comes back, if you have any Secret Santas or you want to give somebody a nice gift, my wife, Art Gallery, softillusions.net. It's at the bottom of the screen. Beautiful colors. It's a calendar. This is just one of many things. So these are just beautiful colors that you can just.
Yeah, and I have mouse pads for Stefania.
Oh, Stefania. Malika has mouse pads too and everything. She has all that stuff. So everybody, like it, share it, subscribe to it. This is Real Talk Chronicles. Every Monday, the first Monday of the month, we have Assemblyman Al Taylor. The second Monday of the month, which is this Monday, we have Dr. Marilyn Corder. The third Monday of the month, we have the First Lady of Def Jam, Allison Williams. The fourth Monday of the month, we have Pastor Kevin Graves, Spiritual Talk. Stefania said, oh my God, you got them. Yes, she has them. On every Wednesday, we have Real Talk with Kevin and Chuck. We talk a lot about police reform and issues dealing with law enforcement or just crime and things in that world. But the one thing about all the shows that we have, we talk about anything and everything, unless we have a specialist, an expert in her field, like Dr. Marilyn Corder and Pastor Kevin Graves. Those are probably one of the two that are. There we got her back there.
Hi, can you hear me?
We got you now. Awesome.
Look, guys, I wasn't ducking the question. There's no side effects, okay? All of a sudden, like, ooh, she gone. She must have some side effects.
Yeah. Tell her that last name is strong. We don't run from questions.
That's right.
We might make you mad with our answer.
Right.
This family known for telling you off a little bit.
Well, on the same note, I tell folks, well, do you know the side effects of your Motrin and Advil and ibuprofen?
Right.
Causes kidney damage.
Right.
Do you know the side effects of the different things your doctor is giving you? Make sure that you read the side of the bag, there's a little extra paper that the pharmacist gives you. We tear it up. We put it in the trash. We so fast because we're so anxious to get the medicine, but we don't know what the side effects are. Next thing you know, you have side effects. Didn't tell the doctor what you're taking, or they forgot the side effects and they treating you for that, and then for that, and then for that. So you need to know what the side effects are for your medication, please. And I get that. So some people say, well, if you take a whole lot of CBD, you may get a little diarrhea. Really? I mean, that's really not a side effect. But as far as I'm concerned, you probably need a good cleaning out anyway. But that's not a side effect versus kidney damage, liver damage, glaucoma, pressure in your eye. When you hear these new medications that cost your insurance $200 and $300 a month, and it's like, ask your doctor to give you this, give you that, give you that. And then they start talking lower. This may cause, and they take it all the way down to blurred vision, difficulty breathing, bleeding on the inside, deafness, suicide, and death, as in dead. So you're going to ask your doctor to kill you. You go right on. I don't think so.
That's awesome information. So let me ask you a question. And like I said, the one thing about Real Talk Chronicles, as you were transparent earlier, and I've been transparent. Okay, I'm diabetic. I was pre-diabetic before the pandemic. I didn't do anything hardly, and then I became diabetic. My numbers skyrocketed. I have them down now. I take what is it, Gemet, right?
Gentlemen.
Yeah, right.
I got something for you. We have something called Captivita that has chromium percolinate. I've had folks have hemoglobin A1C in the teens, 13 and 14. And after taking the Captivita for 3 months, guess what? Their hemoglobin A1C goes below 7. So what I end up doing, and I respect physicians, trust me, I'm one of those. I don't take the people off. What I then say to them, and this has helped so many diabetics, at least 42 diabetics. And I say that because personally, that's who I've helped out, and I keep my little record. But here's what I have them do. They check the glucose however way they do it. And I say, Bill, don't stop your medicine, but be aware that you may have to decrease a little bit on your medication. Because instead of having glucose of 180 or 200, your glucose when you wake up may be 103. Yeah. So as you're taking your medicine, you want to taper down and let your doctor know. I had one young lady, Angela, who was on she was on insulin, 2 different insulins and pills. And then she started doing the Captivita. And as she was taking 2 tablets for breakfast and 1 tablet at lunch. And then she would call me, because I keep a log. She called me, I woke up and my glucose was such and such and da-da-da-da-da. Low hundreds, 90. So I ended up saying, look, I don't want you to become hypoglycemic. So what we did, we ended up tapering down to the point she's only taking 1/3 of the medicine that she was prescribed. So she went back to the doctor. The doctor looked at her. First, the doctor said, you did what? You stopped your medicine? What And of course, we get insulted. She said, yeah, but let me tell you why. She said, draw my blood, draw my blood.
Exactly.
And they drew her blood, and the doctor called her back and said, my God, your hemoglobin A1C is 6.5.
Right.
We haven't seen it less than 9 in years, even though I gave you all the medicine. She said, so you cut back and your hemoglobin A1C is that low, then go for it.
Yes. And it's so funny that you said 103. Mine was 106 this morning because I do have to check it all the time. And then the last time I did, my hemoglobin was like 6.
Okay.
So I mean, but then also too, I do know exercise is a key component for me.
Absolutely.
Because the bottom line is, if I don't do that, I'm done. But the thing is, like you said, it's one thing to get off medicine and not get off the medicine. And I think a lot of times, the goal is, and maybe I'm just speaking for everybody, but I just assume for me, the goal is to get off of medicine. And maybe that may be a dream that may never come true. But the bottom line is, you want to just make sure the preservation of life, correct? I mean,
and that's, it's interesting. We as physicians are not taught to get the patients off medicine. As a matter of fact, the typical is you're taking 1 now, probably in 6 months to a year, you're going to be taking 2 for the same condition. And that's unfortunate, because what we diagnosis prone or diagnosis trained versus preventive trained, but now we have to become more preventive trained. As a pediatrician by trade and train, That's all I knew was prevent any injuries to these brand new organs from your heart, your kidneys, your lungs. I'm also a geneticist. So I ended up doing 3 specialties after residency, after medical school at Howard, 3 years of residency in pediatrics. I said, I want to know more. So I went into genetics. So I'm studying everybody's genetics, right? And then I'm also an adolescent specialist, which takes me into adulthood. So I say all of that to say, not bragging, but because of that information, I do a lot of genetic, like if this is in the child, a teenager with the hypertension, what's in the family? Hemoglobin A1C. I do that on every child. But most doctors don't even do it unless the person is diabetic. But there's so many, there are millions of unknown diabetics who don't know they're diabetic. And that's what I'm going to catch. Okay.
And I think also too, Doc, right? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. A lot of times, just not to, I love the topic that we're on because I know I have my man in here. I ain't going to shout him out that I know he's anti-vaccine. And I would love to know what he's going to do when everything is getting mandated. And one day I would love for him to want to come on and embrace this conversation with us, because the bottom line is not him per se, but a lot of people are so anti-vaccine, getting vaccinated, but I don't know who they're talking to. You understand what I'm trying to say? So I always say that in lieu of that, he's my dude. I'm not going to shout him out unless he raises his hand. If he raises his hand, I'm going to give your name up, baby. But without that being saying all of that, we people, I think, have to understand what medicine really does for us. I mean, there's a how should I really say this? That I guess we put ourselves in situations to take medicine, and then we don't want to take it when we get there. Is that kind of fair enough to say?
We take it when we hurt. We take it when we're really desperate. But then after a while, we get laxed and we don't take it because I feel all right. And then after a while, it creeps back, whatever that condition is, and it creeps back. My thing is this, we get so used to saying, well, I'm getting older, so I'm going to get diabetes and I'm going to get high blood pressure and I'm going to get, no, don't call that on yourself and prevent it as long as you can. I know your Uncle Ned and this person and grandma may have had it, but that doesn't have to be you. Now this is my genetics talking. And that's why things like CBD can begin to reverse, turn the tides in terms of your genetics. I used to say you are your genes, but no, you should know your genes and genetics and then begin to head it off with something natural and something preventive.
Right. My friend Marquetta says, I'm anti-vaccine too. I just typed in to ask her why. Maybe she'll give us
So for those who are anti-vax, we also have something called Immune Boost, IMMUNE Boost. And it has CBD, it has zinc, it has vitamin D3. So hit me up at least let me have you have that. And that's a tablet. That's right. That's 2 tablets once a day. I take that as well. I'm vaccinated, but I'm on the front line. And it's not just one answer. So I take my Immune Boost, 2 tablets, and then, and so write that down. I'll give you some information for those who Bill gets the information on. I'll send you literature. I'll send you my website, and you can see and do and research and look at the price. Now, sometimes people say, oh, it's a little pricey. You get what you pay for, but don't think about $30 is going to be something for a whole month. It's not going to work like that. So average.
Doc, we pay for what we want. If it was a Louis Vuitton bag or some shoes or something.
Oh, yeah. Or a hairdo. Oh, yeah. Or you got a budget for your life. You may be looking good on the outside, but you'll be looking good in that casket too. So let's go ahead and make a difference.
Get your casket sharp, right?
Exactly. Okay, but show love to yourself.
Marquetta says, I am COVID positive, cleared as of today, and only lost my smell. Now let me just say this, Doc. Maybe I don't know. Maybe you can give me the conspiracy theory on people, or just your personal feelings, whatever your medical feelings. Some people, like Marquetta, and I have some other friends that have had COVID and they didn't get that sick, and they beat it and they feel like, I did it. I don't have to take the vaccine. Can you elaborate a little bit on that before you go back?
And our cousin, I'm not going to mention his name, the lawyer, okay, didn't get a chance to do the vaccine. It wasn't he was anti-vax, but he hadn't gotten it. He got hospitalized.
Yes.
He was COVID positive. He ended up going to the hospital. He couldn't wait until that 90 days went by before he could get his vaccine. Now, let me say that probably now it's been a year, coming in December. We're studying the COVID long haul, meaning you may have had COVID and maybe had one symptom or no symptoms, but COVID still has you. Let me explain what that means. When you were positive for COVID, when COVID is in your body, it begins to do a few things, not just a few things. It can give you problems with your memory. It can give you problems with the blood vessels in your brain, but it also mainly can give you problems with clotting. We call them embolisms, blood clots. It can be pulmonary embolism, blood clot to the heart and the lungs, but also different varicosities. And that's where we have a problem, because what COVID does, it wreaks havoc. Even when you're no longer positive, it's been there. Okay. And it's like Bigfoot. You have no idea how it's affecting you. It's been there. And even though, so what happens is no longer positive for the blood test or however way, because we do the blood, we do the nasal swab, but that doesn't mean it sits there. Just like chickenpox. And now you talk about shingles. You've had chickenpox and it was there. You no longer scratching. You don't have it. But years later, you're getting the shingles. Well, COVID doesn't take years later. And now we're seeing 6 months out, 9 months out, people having conditions and symptoms that we're like, what? They did what? And not to scare you, but some folks have had COVID. It went away. They may have had something or not any symptoms, but maybe smelled, etc. But that means it could have attacked your nasal cavity. If you lost your taste or smell, COVID goes to the brain too. So make sure that you're listening out and making sure that, I tell you, go on CBD drops. That's anti-inflammatory.
Right.
In a natural way, CBD. So even after having COVID, even if you're vaxxer or not anti-vax, go on some CBD drops. Go on some CBD tablets. Because that will begin to help balance some of those receptors that COVID continues to linger on. She
asked a question. She says, but doesn't the body build immunity?
It's interesting. It does for a while. And yes, and I'll say this. It does. And it might even be a better immunity than that first shot. Pay attention. Okay. And just, you might say, well, I got it out the way. I got my COVID. I mean, when I say, the COVID got me or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm better. I survived it. I'm not in a hospital. I'm not, in a gravesite. And that's wonderful, because 800,000 people cannot say that. Right. However, don't get your guard down. Monitor everything. Your kidneys. COVID loves attacking the kidneys. Make sure you don't take anything that's fake. Make sure you don't take ibuprofen. I always get Motrin, Aleve. Some of those medicines, when you read it, they say can aggravate your kidneys. At this point, consider your body, I hate to say fragile, but sensitive. And what you want to do is make sure you stay away from anything that's going to aggravate it. Now, be it get vaccinated or not, that's your opinion or your right, but you may not have a job or you may not be able to go to restaurants. But by all means, make sure that you are taking some natural things, turmeric, vitamin D. I say this all the time. You want, and I can say, well, CBD, because it's a natural anti-inflammatory.
She just asked a question. She says, does CBD show in the urine because I get tested?
No, it doesn't. And that's perfect for you to ask that. But medical marijuana shows in the urine, but CBD does not. We have the one that's isolate. There's something called isolate where all the THC is gone. There's some CBDs, the full spectrum or the broad spectrum has a little bit of THC, not to the point you're but a little bit. But the isolate, you want to always have a type ISOLAT. It's isolated out threefold, and it's zero CBD. So, THC. Right. So give her my information, Bill.
Well, definitely. So I know it's that time for you, and any parting words you want to give, and then that'll be your thing. And then of course we want to wish everybody happy holidays, but
right.
We're going to put the information in there. Malika, we put it in there already, right? Oh, yeah. So everybody, please scroll back and look for doctor's information. You can email her personally.
Right.
Of course, let her know that you heard her at Real Talk Chronicles to get you the little Real Talk Chronicles discount or whatever she's going to do for you. I ask you all to share it, subscribe to it, pass the word along. You can pass a lot of other jokes and memes. Pass this along. Please give the doctor some hearts, some love, some thumbs up. and Doc, whatever you want to say on your way out of here. Of course, I will be speaking to you, of course, before the holidays.
Right.
But
please.
Yes, go Doc.
Okay. So we are so COVID fatigued, and we're tired of all the masks. We're tired of everything. We want to make sure that we stay alive, that we see 2022 in rare form. And you want to make sure that for sure that you're doing right by your elders, right by your village, right by the kids, because the children cannot get vaccinated. 5 and above can, if they are. And of course, those that are 5 and below cannot. So you want to make sure that you protect yourself. We're inside now because it's cold. So protect yourself from COVID. And even if you've had COVID, you can get it again. You might have some antibodies, but it's dependent upon the variant. So still wear your mask, wear all that, hand wash, get your social distance.
The antibodies wears off, don't they? Correct, Doc?
And it's up to 6 months, but then as it wears off, even with the vaccine, as it wears off, you want to make sure that you're still practicing the hand washing, the distancing, etc. And if anybody around you is sick, you don't want to have them come over bringing you an apple pie.
No, yeah, germs, exactly. Please, listen. If you're any of a certain age, you should have been taught by your mother and fathers not to wash your hands. Don't touch this. Don't touch that. Somebody coughing, cover your mouth. What's wrong with you? I mean, because I could think about our family tree, and our parents will tell us in a minute, especially Aunt Doris. She'd tell you what's going on.
My mother would get on the elevator, hold them up because somebody may cough. I'm like, are you germophobic? This is the time to be germophobic. This is the time to be germophobic. And it's interesting because we're like, ooh, but hey, being germophobic is no longer who they think they are. They think they want to live. That's who they think they are.
Yeah, if you're not germophobic, there's something wrong with you right now. So
exactly.
Yeah, definitely. So, Doc, anything else? Positive affirmations? Any well wishes you want to give them before the new year?
Well, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, and make sure that we understand what the season is all about. Economics, we all broke. So just, I say just begin to do some nice errands and packages for folks, and just say, I may not see you, but I'm there in love. Card writing and emailing a nice message. Hit me up. I can give you some information. You can go on the website. We got some stuff as low as $25, and it will be the gift that keeps on giving. And they might say, whoa, where'd you get that from? And it would be a gift that nobody else gave them, but it would be a memorable. So I do my Christmas shopping on my CBD site.
There you go. Doc, tell them how many shows you got left on the radio on Saturdays, and where can they hear you if you're on?
Every Saturday live. Every Saturday live. I'm at WOL 1450 AM, Radio 1, WOL 1450 AM on 95.7 FM. I've been doing my show, for the past 20 years. And my cuz has been on it several times. He's my go-to person for anything that has to do with the blue.
And let me ask you a question. I know, because this is something, and I know I'm ready for you to go. I know, but this is the one thing that my cousin and I, we come from a conscious family. Just in summation, what did you think about the Ahmaud Arbery trial?
My goodness! We did a show on that.
I know you did.
Al Sharpton, we were on the ground, and Charles Ellison, the gentleman that we talked about it. I tell you what, that prosecutor, I call her Auntie Linda. Auntie Linda, she put it down. She put it down. And you know what she didn't do? She didn't play the race card. It was 11 white and 1 black. She didn't play the race card. She played, these are the facts. Look at this. Okay. And so all I can say is I rejoice with that. Now the Rittenhouse I'm still shaking my head on that verdict.
Exactly.
Okay.
And now we have the young lady we have the officer on trial for shooting the young man with mistakenly for the taser.
My question is, why did they even have to tase him? It was a traffic violation.
Air freshener tag, and then they ran his name and found out that he had, I guess, a warrant or for marijuana or something in '92. And this is the thing, Todd. You know, we could talk about this all the time. I always talk about de-escalating and escalating situations. You know, I always tell people when I've spoken at events with officers and people, treat people like you want to be treated. Everybody, right. It goes a long way. And in a medical field, what is it called? Bedside manner.
Right.
And restaurants.
Respect.
Hospitality. Listen, common courtesy.
Right.
And then, you know, we're going to have to talk about that. Well, you know, one day if I get a chance to have a panel and we can all talk about going forward, what are we going to do? How do we see the world changing around from all the loss and these crimes? Please, everybody, doc yourself. Be careful out there right now. There's predators preying on everybody, and everybody looks weak to the predator.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. So, we need your martial arts. We need that self-defense.
That's what we do. We're gonna do that. We're gonna work on that too. We'll set up a little thing. I'll come to the hospital for you.
All right now.
You know? All right, everybody, say goodbye to the doctor.
Love you guys. Take care.
Doctor, I'll talk to you later.
All right. Bye-bye.
Love you. Bye. Be good. Everybody, that's Real Talk Chronicles. That was Dr. Marilyn Corder. That was Real Talk with Dr. Corder. If you liked it, listen, put the thumbs up, the hearts up. Doctor came in and gave you Real Talk. No other place is giving you that. Right here, Real Talk Chronicles. Your boy Bill Forster with my co-host Malika Forster in the back.
Her like every week.
Oh, I would love to have her every week. Maybe you know what y'all got to ask her when I send her an email. For those that y'all have her email, scroll back in the chat and look for the email. Ask her. Say, yo, doc, can you come on the show more often? I'll cut down Kevin and Chuck's time. I'll add a slot for her. The bottom line is I will do anything that gives more information. I ask you all, please, if you're watching from Facebook, if you're watching under my page where it says share it to your page, please, so your friends and family can see the information that you've just obtained. And I appreciate you. I'll see you Wednesday. We'll talk more about a lot of things. If there's anything, if any of you didn't get the information, text me or inbox me. I'll get you the information. Doctors, so she did a lot of talking on CBDs. Yes, please. She is good. Donnie Rolfe, what's going on? I'm about to get out of here. Rashid, what's going on, my brother? We're about to log off right now. If you get a chance, go back and look at the show. We just had Dr. Marilyn Corder on. She talked a lot of health stuff within the hour that she was on. You can go back and definitely check it out. Sharon said, "What's up, Malika?" Thank you.
Hey, Sharon.
You know, Sharon and I used to drive the bus together. So everybody, thank you so much. I asked you to go back, look at the show. She covered everything from babies to 99-year-old people, health issues.
Bill, I was back here feverishly taking notes.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to listen to it again and take some more notes.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
I will definitely, Kenny. Thank you. I already got my inbox. We'll just send you people. Can we put it in the chat right now again?
Yes.
All right. Before we log off, Malika's going to put the doctor's information again for those. She will send you samples, but you have to email her and let her know that you heard her on Real Talk Chronicles, of course. And, you know, there might be some discounts. So Malika just put that in there. If you didn't get it again, inbox me. I'll send it to you. Everybody have a wonderful evening. Whatever you do, just be careful out there. All over the world, everything is just getting carried away. If you're watching football, enjoy that. Don't drink too much, but have enough. Keep the energy positive. Positive vibes only, everybody. Have a wonderful evening. Talk to you later.
Bye.